Have you ever wondered if the media has told you the whole truth about the war between Iran and Israel? Has the war really ended after that 12 days? Have you ever wanted to listen to this story from the perspective of an ordinary Iranian citizen through a neutral and non-political view? Imagine you are having a peaceful night at home. News channels are reporting on negotiations between your government and the United States. Sparks of hope begins to grow in your heart that maybe, just maybe, things might get better this time.
The situation is coming out very well.
Summer is approaching and you are making plans for your future life. With these hopeful thoughts, you fall asleep. Suddenly, you're woken up by the ringing of your phone. On the other end is your worried mom asking, "Are you okay?" You're confused and unaware of what's happening and say, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on?" Unbeknownst to you, your country is being bombed. Innocent people and children are dying. The Israeli government has launched an attack on Iran right at a time when it seemed like political agreements were starting to form and things were finally getting better. Your family and friends are just as shocked and heartbroken as you are. News starts coming in about people being injured or killed. In the early days, you're still hopeful that it will be over soon. But then the US government announces that the people must evacuate Tehran. And by Tehran, they mean a massive city with nearly 14 million people where a quick evacuation is almost impossible. That's when you realize things are far worse than you'd thought. People who have family in nearby towns begin to leave. The highways out of Tehran are packed with traffic. In every car, there are people with fear and worry written all over their faces. Yes, war has broken out between Iran and Israel, and it lasted for 12 days. Innocent people died on both sides. But after day 12, has the war really ended? All the news channels are reporting a ceasefire. But has everyday life for regular people really gone back to how it was before? My name is Sharareh Oujan, and on my channel I talk about my country Iran, its history, art, tourist attractions, culture, and all aspects of Iranian everyday life. So if you want to see the real Iran beyond what the media shows, you know what to do. Today it's been about 3 months since those awful days. But not only are many still living with mental and emotional trauma like nightmares, insomnia, and severe anxiety, but worse, many of us feel that this war is not truly over and could start again at any moment. It's like we are stuck in the middle of a scary drama series and it feels like the next season is about to begin. Because of this, most people in Iran are living in a constant state of uncertainty and confusion, unable to make solid decisions about their future. For example, take me. A few days after it all began, I packed up and came to my parents' house in northern Iran with my 2 cats. Mainly because on the 4th day, a drone destroyed a house near where I lived and my parents were extremely worried. But now, even after the ceasefire, I hesitate to return home. If you've ever traveled with cats, you know how difficult it can be, and my biggest concern was, what if I go back and the war starts again? And because these moves could affect my cat's health, so I decided to stay longer just to be sure it is safe. Many others are in the same situation, unsure about whether to stay in another city or even another country. On the other hand, my parents, for instance, had plans to sell their house, but they have put it off. Right now, there's a major recession in real estate and almost all other markets. Many companies and startups had to lay off employees and inflation is still rising. Most of my friends aren't starting any new businesses or making investments because they're worried about their savings. They prefer to keep their money in safer forms like gold. People are avoiding buying non-essential or luxury items and choosing to save their money instead. Friends and relatives in Grand Bazaar and other shopping malls say that The markets are dead and most stores are empty of customers. All of this shows how the economic pressure and tension from the war is still deeply affecting regular people. But that's just one side of the coin. If we flip it over, this war has been a wake-up call for many of us. It reminded us, no matter how unhappy we might be with our government, just how much we love our homeland. If you look at our history, we never say, for example, the Mongols attacked the ruling government at the time. We say the Mongols attacked Iran. So at first, maybe some people thought that this war was just against Iran's government. But when it became widespread, when innocent people and children were killed, when even ordinary citizens were asked to evacuate major cities within a few hours, something that's practically impossible, we realized something deeper. This wasn't just a war against the government. This was an attack on our land, our people, and our homes. That's why, if you're wondering why the people of Iran didn't support this war and instead stood by their country, it's because a strong sense of unity was awakened. No matter how frustrated we might be with our leaders, Iranians have a deep love for their fellow citizens and their country. Maybe that's why the government seems to have noticed this unity among the people and has begun to soften in some areas. For example, restrictions around hijab, which has already started to ease under President Pezeshkian, have been relaxed even more. Direct warnings about bad hijabs in cars and streets have almost disappeared. The law for hijab-related fines, even though it passed in parliament, still hasn't been enforced. By the way, if you are curious about the whole story behind the mandatory hijab, check out the video I made about it. I'll share the link in the description. In addition, a few weeks ago, one of my friends sent me a video of a street concert in Tehran, and these kinds of concerts are still being held. There are also cafe parties and events in shopping malls that I see are happening these days, things that were almost unthinkable before under the strict Islamic government. In conclusion, these days in Iran feel like a strange mix of fear and hope. Especially now, the activating the snapback mechanism and expanded sanctions seem more serious and closer than ever. Iran is currently a place filled with ambiguity, mixed emotions, and an uncertain future more than ever. But of course, the future is always a mystery. And as an ordinary non-political citizen, I hope tomorrow brings peace, happiness, and safety for the people of my country and for all people around the world. Now you tell me, what about you? What do you think the future holds? Let me know your predictions in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Bye.